Hey everyone, today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Henson AL13 aluminum safety razor. There's a couple of reasons that I'm very excited for this. First of all, I'm in desperate need of a shave, so that's exciting in and of itself. We're going to be doing my full head by myself, and then we're going to clean up my face, and I'll decide by the end of the video if I'm going to keep my mustache. But the other reason I'm very excited is because I currently use a a safety razor, and it's the King C Gillette. There's a couple things upon my first use that I wasn't really crazy about, and it's kind of still just carried through to this day. And I've been seeing this pop up on Facebook now for quite a while, and I'm very excited to try it and see how it compares. So the other thing that really intrigued me about this company in particular is the fact that it was made and founded by 4 people. You got one digital marketer who's clearly good at her job, and then you have 3 brothers who are aerospace technologists and engineers, and they manufactured satellite components. And I think it's really exciting and cool that they're bringing aerospace technology to the grooming industry. And I think that when you do something every day that requires such high precision and attention to detail, such as shaving your face or any part of your body kind of thing, you need a product with precision and attention to detail in mind. So what better people to have design a product who were aerospace technologists and engineers. So I think that's very exciting, and I'm excited to see, like I said, how this compares to my current King C Gillette. So let's get into the unboxing and the review. So I paid approximately $130 for both of these. This was $113 Canadian, and this was $15 Canadian. This is a pack of 100 blades, specifically designed for the Henson AL13 aluminum safety razor. And this pack of 100 blades should last me well over 10 years. So I'm excited to try these out. Also, we have the razor itself. The box is very clean looking. There's no tape along the edges, so it's going to slide right out, I think. And it does say it comes with a 5-pack of blades, which is also nice. So I'll have 105 blades by the end of this. And it says made in Canada right on the package. So if you're familiar with the laws in Canada, in order to get the made in Canada designation on your product, at least 51% of the materials and labor manufacturing has to be procured in Canada. If it's a product of Canada, however, that number jumps to 98%. So this has been made in Canada, which is very exciting and very fitting for this particular limited edition version. And let's open up the box and see. It's a very, very nice red color. I like that a lot. We have the 5 blades here. It's a nice little package. Same type of blades, RK. And then we have the razor itself. And on the side of the box here, there's actually some instructions for beginners who maybe not have ever put or assembled one of these handles before with the blade. So it's going to be helpful for a beginner if you do decide to try this out. But here's the razor itself. And right away, it's already standing out to me as a very lightweight product compared to the Gillette King C, or the King C Gillette, which I'm not exactly sure how heavy it is, but I know this thing is approximately 1.3 ounces, which is a very light product, right? And it is made of aluminum, so it's going to be pretty light. But you also have the knurling on the handle, which is very, very grippy. And I really like that because it's not forcing. It gives you a lot more control. So the lightweight design as well as the knurling on the handle is going to make it very easy for beginners to shave with this. You also have a beautifully etched maple leaf, so that's very nice. I'm very excited about that. As well as 2 indents on the side. Now, I don't know if they actually do this with all of their AL13 aluminum safety razors, but I know for the limited edition one, they do have these little indents on the side, which is going to make it very helpful when you're replacing the blades and unscrewing the handle from the top assembly here. So once you unscrew this part, these two components come apart, and then you put the blade in, and then you put these back together. And those little two indents on the side are going to make it so much easier while trying to replace a blade while you have shaving cream and water all over your hands. So you're basically, you're protecting yourself. You're not going to be slipping around and accidentally cutting your fingers up when you're screwing this back on. So those little indents are very nice. Overall, I'm really excited about this. The knurling, the indents, the display, the etched maple leaf, as well as the lightweight design. I think this is going to be a very nice shave, and I'm very excited to have this forever. So let's get into the review. If you're a keener, then you'll have noticed that I've already trimmed most of my hair off already. I used a 6, excuse me, not a 6, I used a 9mm, and then I, just to take most of the stuff off, and then I used the razor with the buzzers with no guard. So we got it down to probably like a 0.5 millimeter or a millimeter. I'm not exactly sure what the standard is on that, but I didn't film it because it's not necessarily a review of those trimmers, so hopefully you guys don't mind that. But we're here to review the Henson AL13 aluminum safety razor, and here is my King C Gillette, which I told you guys that I wasn't super fond of, like, in some regards. So I can already tell, like I said, that this one's way lighter. This is at least 3 or 4 times, maybe even more, the weight. I'll put it on the screen if I haven't already what the weight of this one is, but like I said, this one is I believe 1.3 ounces. So yeah, already very, very different. And the other thing I don't like about this razor a whole lot is the knurling on this handle goes kind of like barber pole swirl down. So it just kind of feels like the razor handle wants to spin in your hands as you're like pulling down. Obviously it doesn't, but it just doesn't feel secure, and it doesn't feel like you're holding it and gripping it. So that's the King C Gillette. I just wanted to show you guys what I was talking about there. But let's review this bad boy. We're gonna start with my face, and then we'll do my scalp because it's gonna take probably a lot longer, and I'm excited to get this cleaned up. So first we're gonna assemble the blade, or install the blade. Comes in these little packages. I'm gonna hold on to those indents here and unscrew the handle. Be very careful opening these because you don't want to cut yourself before you even start. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this there. Top plate goes on like so. Oh, the razor blades don't even stick out the edge. Okay, I was worried about that because I was like, it's kind of going to defeat the purpose of the little indents on the side, but the top is actually wide enough that it doesn't stick out whatsoever. So that's what it looks like with the blade installed. Very nice. I love this. I'm excited for it. But today I'm actually also going to try something a little bit different for myself. I went out and picked up this Wilkinson Sword shaving soap. I'm not exactly sure the quality of it, and I also got this synthetic hairbrush by the same company. And yeah, I've never really used shaving soap. I think I did a couple times when I was a teenager. But yeah, I feel like with this whole hair transformation, I'm going to age probably like 10 years, 28 to 38. So I'm going to take the label off here. And like I said, I've never really used this stuff, but so this is going to be fun for both of us. Pull this brush out. That's very soft. I can see why people say that synthetic hairbrushes are softer, because that is very soft compared to the boar brushes. But everybody's got their preferences, so. I also got a cup, so I can lather inside of that. I've seen a couple of people do that. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I'll just use my hand or something, or right on the face. Yeah, I almost might even go right on the face. I'm not exactly sure yet, but there's a soap. It smells nice and clean. I like the smell of that actually. So we're gonna wet the brush. And synthetic brushes hold water between the bristles, not necessarily absorb the water. So you don't need to soak it as long. And before you get the lather, or before you start loading the brush, I suppose, you want to flick the water out. Otherwise, you're going to have too much drip. So we're just going to start loading the brush here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're just going circles. I believe we go for about 30 to 45 seconds. Let's get it all on there. And you want to apply a little bit of pressure, but not too much. Yeah, so you don't want to shake out all of the water, I suppose. But you don't want it dripping. Just trying to get it all up. And if you guys have ever used shaving soap before and you have any tips, I don't mind if you leave them in the comments. I think with synthetic brushes, if you do want to soak it for a while, that is a good idea because the bristles don't flex as much. They'll snap because they're synthetic. So if you want to save your bristles in the long run, don't apply too much pressure. All right, so seems to be loaded. If it's not good enough, then we'll go back for some more, but we'll try this first. Okay, so it's going to start applying it. And like I said, I don't know if I want to get rid of my mustache yet, so I'm not going to throw any on there yet. I feel like this isn't really. I feel like it's not thick enough. Let me try to get some more here. Maybe I was going too dry. So that's easy to adjust. I suppose less water would probably be better than more because you can always add more, but it's hard to make. You'd have to really clean it up and start over if you added too much at the beginning. This feels a lot thicker and better. And I also saw somewhere that if you take it all, you go like this, then the peak, if you do a peak test, so this actually does look pretty dry still, but I'm just going to throw the rest on here with my hands. Get it all in there. Soften it all right up. Especially that chin where I got most of my hairs. All right. So I'm all lathered up. And some of my bristles have broken off. I'm picking some out of my face, so I might let the brush soak a little longer next time and use more water right off the get-go, because I had to keep reapplying. But that's the brush and the soap. Close that back up just for now. All right, let's see. First impressions here. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's really smooth. Just gliding and taking all of the hair off. Look at that. That was really cool. I think I'm going to start lathering in the cup, because if you got to reapply, then you have some on hand ready to go. I don't think I had it on quite thick enough. Which is okay. I've had worse and drier shaves for sure. I nicked my Adam's apple a little bit. Do that every once in a while for sure. So I'm actually going to apply just a little bit more and then go in the other direction. I'll lather in the cup so that I can apply it to my scalp as well when I'm ready to do that. But keep it I'll keep it a little moist there. I'll let the brush soak just a little longer. And I'm going to trim up the sides here. Shorten the mustache on the sides a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to load it up. Just like before. Same thing, circles, except this time I shook off a little less water. And I let the brush soak a little longer. Still maybe could have used a little bit longer. I hear some people let their brushes soak for at least 3 minutes. Like I said, if you have any experience in the comment with the brushes and the shaving soap, I would really appreciate some advice. But we're just having fun. I figured this would be fun to try, because I normally just use cheap Barbasol, and I figured the Henson AL13 deserved a little bit more than that, especially for the first impressions. Loaded it up. It's kind of a deep cup, so I can't really get my hand in there, but that should be fine. And we'll see if it passes the peak test. It's a little bit wetter, I can already tell, which is good. It's a little bit better. I don't know if it's good enough at all, but it's definitely wetter. So I'm just gonna go back over it once more and take care of the sides of this mustache here, because I don't like it going too long. I like keeping it nice and shortish. I also trimmed my mustache before we started the review there, and I used a 7mm guard. So it's currently sitting at 7mm right now, which isn't too bad. So one thing I'm picking up on is that this would actually be a really great beginner blade or beginner setup. The razor and everything, it is just so smooth, and it feels like it's really easy to get the correct angle. So keep that in mind if you don't currently own one of these and you're looking into getting into safety razors. So far, this is really good and beginner friendly. Like, the box has the instructions on it. It's very lightweight, very maneuverable, and like I said, I find it's very easy to get that right angle, the correct angle. So that's very nice, very close, very easy, very smooth. I really enjoyed that. That was nice. I like that a lot more than my Gillette's King C. So that's awesome. I love myself some Brute. Always loved this. This is what I first started shaving with. This is what my dad bought me when I first started shaving. And this is just by far my favorite stuff. And it's my wife's favorite stuff, which is also really important. So. It's not too expensive. It's not the highest quality stuff as far as I know, but I love my Brute. So we're gonna need way more on this bad boy. So soapy. Get the soap nice and soapy on the brush. There we go. Oh, that's much better. Already, you can just see it. Maybe I had to break in the brush. I don't think I did, because I'm pretty sure synthetic brushes, because they're so much softer, you don't really have to break them in. Pretty sure I told you this, guys, before, but I've never done this entire thing by myself before, and I don't normally go bald when I cut my hair. I do usually only get my hair cut like once a year, twice a year. I grow my hair out and then I buzz it, but once in a while I'll go bald, and I figure this is an okay occasion to do so. Last time I went bald, it was on Halloween night. It's currently July, so that's about 9 months ago, and I dressed up as Slim Shady. So obviously I bleached my hair, big old white t-shirt, heavy baggy pants kind of thing, and went to bed that night, and my scalp was burning. I'll put a picture on the screen of the old Slim Shady outfit, but scalp was burning. Couldn't sleep. I was getting paranoid. I was like, what do I do? So I went to the bathroom and I shaved my head, and I wanted to be able to treat the head injury I gave myself. So that was the last time I shaved my head, and I haven't really seen my scalp too well since then, but obviously now I have a little bit, and it doesn't look like it's fully healed, so I wonder if I did some permanent damage to it. Oh well. I think I probably should have started with my side rather than my top. And I'm going to go with the grain first here. You want to be very careful not to cut your ear off. Wouldn't be very good. And ideally, you want to have a mirror too, so you can see the back of your head. But if you don't have a mirror, you can go by feel, which is obviously not as reliable. But it's good. I like the design of this razor because you can feel when it's cutting. So it's very easy to know if you have the right angle. So if you feel it start to slide, you just go back over where you missed. And get that area again. Getting rid of most of my hair definitely helped, because even though it's just a single blade, you can still clog it if you got too much hair going on. I just wanted to make certain that I wasn't gonna do that. It's hard to it's hard to do this. Like I said, I've never done this before. I gotta stop looking in the mirror because it's messing up my my orientation, like my hand orientation. So when I go to the back, I just gotta play it by feel, which isn't too bad. Actually, it feels like I've got most of it. I could be wrong. You guys probably can see everything I'm missing. Probably looks pretty silly, but we'll check after. It's all just a process. Okay. Like I said, it's very easy to feel when you're cutting and when you're not. So that's very nice. So it's another reason I would recommend this razor for beginners who are looking into getting into safety razors. I guess I missed quite a bit of hair back there when I was... That's a little better. All right. We're going to go back over this. So far, so good. I've never had an easier time. I've had harder times with Bic razors, which I suppose is kind of the point of purchasing a nice razor, so you have an easier time and a better overall experience. Like I said, I don't have a mirror, so I'm just going by feel. I don't have a second mirror, that is, so I'm just going by feel. I don't know if you guys can really tell much of a difference from between now and before, because my hair was already quite short, but we'll do side by side. Shaving soap on because I'm getting pretty dry now, so we'll do that right quick. Probably still quite wet. See, like it could be a little wetter. Not that wet. It's going to take some learning, I suppose, but I'm okay with that. I like learning. So I guess my video cut out early, and I'm sorry about that, but I think my storage capacity ran out. But basically, all around, I really like this razor, much more than my previous one, my King C Gillette. I think this is a great first safety razor for beginners to get into if they want to experience what it's like to own and use a safety razor. I think this is a very good, comfortable experience. I liked it a lot more, like I said. And if you don't mind the price point, $130 total is what I paid for this razor, as well as the pack of 100 blades, 130 Canadian. So really not that bad of a price, because you're going to own this thing forever. And like I said, it's super light, super grippy. I really like this, and I'm going to enjoy using this for the rest of my life. So I appreciate you guys sticking around watching the review. Sorry that the video cut out a little bit. I was unable to see it until I thought I completed my video, so that's unfortunate, but I really do appreciate everybody who stuck around and watched. I give this thing a 10 out of 10 so far. It really feels like they put a lot of attention to detail into making and designing this razor, and it certainly paid off, and I'm really happy that I made this purchase. So thanks again for watching, guys. Leave a like if you like the video. Leave a dislike if you dislike the video. Leave a comment if you have anything to say about the razor itself, the any tips regarding the the shaving soap. Yeah, Until next time, thanks for watching.